Checking out Anton Daniels. Let's go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Let's get into it.
Free. Give us free. We boss, we's don't have the same opportunities as those that came before us. So now we's got to lean into our blackness to make sure that we's gets our rights because we's ain't sitting in the back of the bus no more. I's not going to the back of the bus no more. No. What year are y'all living in? What can't you do? I'm just curious. What can't you do? What freedom are you missing? What liberty do you don't have exposure to? What can't you do in the United States of America today? Because I know that y'all want to, we still shackled. Who is making you pick cotton is all I want to know. Give me a second. I just got a question for black people before we get into the next part of the show. Who's making you pick cottons? We's can't goes to that bathroom. Who told you that you can't eat whites only pie? Who told you that whites only pie was only available? Where y'all at? Who breeding y'all to pick cotton? Who making y'all fight each other? Who are y'all fighting each other now and y'all not getting paid for it? And then they giving y'all some women to go back and to soothes your wounds. Are y'all on Candyland still? And if y'all can't fight, then they gonna six the dogs on them. Emancipation Proclamation, I'm on it. 2/3 of a man. What freedoms are you missing that obviously bypassed me and allowed for me to become a millionaire in real time before my 40th birthday? I retired at 37 years old. At 37, I retired. I no longer ever had to work again in my life. My daughter's college fund was fully funded, and I had the ability to be able to live in a lap of luxury for the rest of my life at 37 years old. I am online right now, getting to the bag. Where can I fly? I fly first class all over the state.
Good for you.
And sometimes, occasionally, depending on if I'm feeling real frisky, I might go private. My daughter drives a $100,000 truck. I just went and bought a brand new car yesterday, and I hadn't even seen it yet, and they delivered it to my place, and I didn't see it until I got home, and I still ain't driven it yet. I still ain't drove it yet. My daughter drove it back and forth to the gas station. I have a fleet of luxury vehicles. My watch right here, this little old Omega right here, cost me $10,000. I have employees that work for me. I go in and they call me Mr. Daniels. I can have any white girl that I want, whenever I want, and I'm not going to get in trouble for it. I choose to be faithful. I can go and get any white girl that I want, and nobody can do anything about it. I drive past white people, pose whites people all the time, and they continue.
All right, brother. You think you can't do nothing about it. Your ass gonna be with Diddy ass. When that white girl say something that you did something to, you gonna be with Jonathan Mayer. Was it Jonathan Majors?
To tell me about my privilege. I might even get hired before you because they got to fill quotas with diversity, equity, and inclusion. We just got rid of affirmative action the other day. Just a couple years ago, we just got rid of affirmative action. Y'all still running into the victim of the Olympics. What liberty, what thing can't you do? What school can't you go to? You got special universities that's dedicated to you and they continue to fund it and put money into it even though they're insolvent. Y'all was stealing from Deion Sanders. That's why he had to leave and go over to Colorado. Y'all couldn't even keep it. Y'all had whole cities. Y'all ran white people out of whole cities. And then it ran it into bankruptcy. And y'all ran it like the mob. And then y'all still running in the Victim Olympics. Y'all just had a whole movement, Black Lives Matters, that was propped up in order to continue to get y'all to divest from your own communities and tear up your own cities and streets and paint red, green, and black on the streets, and you ain't never been to Africa in your entire life. I seen people in the 80s and the 90s wearing Africa chains that was made by white companies. The very people that I see on TikTok on a regular basis complaining about the white man be having they Amazon vest on and they be in there driving a halo right after that. Doop, 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 doop. White man still employing you even though you talking negative about him. Even though you talking negative about him, the white man still employing you. Give us free. Where is our reparations? Meanwhile, the migrants is walking in with size 12 shoes on. Oh, y'all want that job? I'll get that job. I'll take that job. We can take over whole apartment buildings. And we can bring in guns. And we can take their women. Busting them down. What liberty, what freedom don't you have? And then they gave y'all the freedom to do whatever it is that you wanted because they worked together. The Freedom Riders was getting blew up on the buses. And you know what you did? I hate Martin Luther King. He the one that said,
hit the thumbs up button.
He might have led his people into the burning bush. We should have kept ourselves separate. Well, the whole idea of freedom of choice is that you can choose to do whatever it is that you want to do. Y'all the only group of people that can say, I only cater to my people and get away with it. If that's not privilege, I don't know what is. Because white people can't even do it. If white people only said, listen, these is whites only pies, you would have them on the news and y'all would be on TikTok trying to cancel them immediately. But y'all the only people that can say this business is owned by black people and we only serve and cater to the black community and get away with it. What universe are y'all living in to where y'all are telling me that y'all don't have the type of privilege that y'all have today to be able to get away with and say some of the craziest things about every other group and then don't have them say it back to you? You can call each other the NIGGA with the hard ER or whatever it is that you want to at any point. At any point, you can say some of the wildest things. I see women calling their own girlfriends, their own homegirls, BITCHs on a regular basis, but let somebody else call you out of your name. Oh, it's the intent. It's the intent. You can use the N-word whenever you want to look at it as a term of endearment to your own people and your own culture. And if somebody else says it, and even remote, but is you black? Is you black, though? Because I took that as a slight. I took it as a slur. The fundamentals is just all messed up. Somehow, some way, these people who have never experienced any form of racism in their entire life except from the bias and the prejudice from people that look like you, you're more likely to get robbed by a person that looks like you. And please miss me with the whole proximity argument. You're more likely to get robbed by a person that looks like you because 13.6% of the population is committing the majority of the crimes. But it's systematic. They reprogramming it. It's in the music. Who is this boogeyman behind the scenes that's pulling all of the strings? Who is the Wizard of Oz down there that's making you go and rob your own homeboy? That's making you go and take out these PPP loans for fraud? That's making you go out here and finesse and steal and kill and destroy and rob people and do some of the worst things to the people in your community and then uplift the ones that do the worst things and they get so enamored with stuff that's not even relative to you while showing up not being informed at the polls just to vote based off of identity politics. They really did a Jedi mind trick on the black community. They did a Jedi mind trick on the black community. The only people hurting black people is black people. And the fact that y'all even call yourselves black people shows me how ignorant you are to the things that's been promoted to you that ultimately you continue to promote to everybody else out of ignorance. And then y'all sit here and y'all call us Uncle Toms, you call us coons, you call us all of these different things, but we're the very ones that employ you. You don't even know who Uncle Tom is. You don't even know what his relevance is in the story. You don't even know your own history. You've never read a book before, but you use these talking points from the internet in order to substantiate your argument. The very people that are sitting here asking me if I'm FBA don't even realize that that is a term that has been made up to identify you and separate you again. And so when Obama then comes through and he says, oh, the brothers, all he's doing is creating more divisive environments that ultimately you thrive off of. Because you know what? You are a pookie and you are desperate for something that is negative. And if anybody ever presents something to you that's positive, you turn it off immediately. So now we got to put the medicine in the side of the candy just so you can take care of your family. Ain't nothing you ever did actually produced fruit. And all y'all do is look for a shortcut to do something that you ain't supposed to do so you can impress people that don't care nothing about you. And you still voting based off of identity politics, talking about this the 1820s. Ain't nobody thinking about you. I wouldn't enslave you if I could because you too lazy. I can't pay you to do your job right now. So why would I want to enslave you? You lazy. I can't even pay you to do what you're supposed to do, and you show up high to every job and every interview, hoping that they don't piss test you. Asking your homeboy, can I hold some piss real close to me and hoping that it passed the warm test so that they can certify it to actually be something that you pissed out of. You fear going and getting a piss test at your own job, and you worried about somebody asking you to go and pick some cotton for free? We know you ain't pick nothing for free. We know. The only reason you mad at the migrants is because they getting it for that's my money. My ancestors died for it. So you can be parking a Cadillac Escalade in the hood on the lawn. Nobody trying to enslave you. Nobody wants your little dusty self. Get on out of here. Don't nobody want you. Ain't nobody.
All right, I gotta say something. I'm about to continue on this, but I need to get my thoughts together. My dad, well, my friend's dad once said, you ever heard of, he had the term he would say, my friend's dad would always say, he's passed on now, he would always say, a white man's Negro. And I was like, well, what do you mean by that, a white man's Negro? And what he meant by that is you have black men that, or black women too, that white people are comfortable with and that they like. They don't like us a lot, but they have that one black person that they like, or that one black woman that they like. You know what I'm saying? And when that black man or woman gets to go to a job, to apply for a job, they usually get the job. That pay the good money in corporate structures that the rest of us can't get because we're not liked. And then that person, that white man's Negro, whether it be man or woman, they get that corporate, they be that one or two black people that's in that corporation that the company hired that they liked. That particular black person, man or woman, that white man's Negro, starts making $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year. And guess what they start doing? I'm better than the rest of y'all. Y'all can't get y'all shit together. What's wrong with y'all? These white folks gave me this job. Why can't y'all do it? You know what I'm saying? It's because all of us aren't liked. I like Anton Daniels, but he's starting to give me vibes of a white man's Negro. He comes from the corporate world that a lot of us can't get in because we're not liked. See, this is something I learned when I got older in life, when I got into adulthood. And I wish I would have known. And this is a class they should teach in high school and college. If you're not liked, especially if you're black, I don't give a fuck how educated you are. I don't give a care how smart you are or how you know your corporate structure up and down. If you're a black man or woman, and it's mainly men that they don't like usually in the corporate structure. If you're a black man that they don't like, they don't feel comfortable around, I don't care how many degrees you got. I don't care about what you know. You're not getting that job. I don't give a damn if they don't like you. Let me tell you something. I was trying to be like Anton Daniels. I was trying to get out here in LA and work at these studios, which is pretty much these big studios out here in LA. It's the corporate world too. The movie industry is the corporate world. And I came out to LA. I remember I had an interview at this advertising agency, and they needed somebody to help them with marketing and coming up with visuals for their clients and their marketing campaigns. The job paid like $85,000 starting. This was like 15 years ago. I wanted that job so bad. I went in there, suited and booted, had my interview. The first interview I had to have my first interview with the human resource lady, right? And then if she felt that I was a good candidate and I would fit in with the company, she was going to pass me on it was going to be a second interview and I believe a third one. The first interview with this lady went fantastic. And so she was able to put me on to the next interview, right? Next interview I got, I believe it was a guy. He liked me too. White dude liked me. So it came down to the third interview. I want this job. So it was this white lady. She didn't like me. Guess who didn't get the job? I didn't get the job. Fast forward 3 months later. The same lady who brought me in the first time for that job, the white lady who brought me in for that job, the human resource lady, she called me she remembered me. She's like, I really liked you, Charles. I don't know why they didn't. She even called me and said, I don't know why they didn't want you for that first position. I thought you would have fit in just great. I liked you. Yeah, and the other lady liked me too. But that one guy who didn't like me, he didn't care about what my skills were. I was perfect for the job. He did not like me. I did not get that job. Fast forward, she's like, I'm going to bring you in for another set of interviews. She was like, this position doesn't pay as much, but it's like $75,000. I think it was like $10,000 lesser, but still good money. I had just moved to LA. I was like, shit, that $75,000, that, plus I'm doing what I enjoy doing. I'm single. I don't have no kids. Yeah, this is perfect. I mean, it's not $85,000, but at least I'm in the door. At least you know what I'm saying? So she brought me in. She already interviewed me, I had to see her no more. So she brought me in. I had two people I had to interview with. I think I interviewed with, I believe it was a woman, older woman. She liked me, but the judgment was up to the next person that I was supposed to interview with, the second person, who was ahead of the whole thing. And guess what? It was a black woman. So I'm like, oh shit, it's a sister. I was like, oh, I got this job. Went in there, put on my charm, was suited and booted. I knew the job in and out. Sister didn't like me. I can tell when I went in there, she did not like me. I was trying to be as nice to her as possible, professional. That woman did not like me. Black woman. I didn't get the job. The lady called me. The human resource lady called me maybe 2 weeks later and said, Charles, just calling you, a week later. She said, Charles, let you know that, I'm going to try to keep you in mind for some other positions, but that position I brought you in, that second position I brought you in for, they went with somebody else. Just want to let you know. But I'm going to try to see if I can bring, she's like, I don't know why they won't, why they won't, because I feel like you fit in great. And that's when I realized it's not about what you know and how smart you are. If people do not like you, it's going to be very hard for you. If you don't fit in with these white folks at these corporations, sometimes it be your own people that feel like you don't fit in with the white folks, like the sister did. Because she didn't like me. I said, I'm not getting this job because she don't like me. I don't give a fuck how much I kiss her ass. She don't like me. She don't like my suit, maybe how I talk. And that's not, and a lot of times that's not fair. If I know how to do the job and I'm on time and I know how to do my job, you liking me shouldn't matter. But unfortunately it does. If she don't like, if the person that's sitting across from you that you're trying to get a job from don't like your suit, they don't like your cologne you got on, they don't like how you walk, the tone of your voice, can be completely perfect for the job. If they don't like you, you're not going to have a job. That's something that I think they should teach in college and high school, how to be liked. Because if you're not liked, you're going to be on the outside looking in. And a lot of times we're not liked. Anton Daniels reminds me of my brother a lot. My brother was shout out to my brother Milton. I love my brother Milton, but he was the liked Negro. He was able to get in with the corporation, and my brother was making buku bread. But in the same time, my brother was sometimes kind of looked down like, why you can't get You can't. Well, you ain't got no job like I got it. But motherfucker, they don't. He would kind of look down on people that wasn't on his level. Black people that wasn't on his level, because he was making that good money. And that's the first thing we do once we start making that good money. We start looking at it. Why? What's wrong with you? Why you can't get the money I'm getting? Why do white? You know what I'm saying? That's all the excuse. You just using that as an excuse to that slavery shit. And they call it that. You know, the upwardly mobile. They call it the upwardly mobile Negro, the upwardly mobile person. A lot of times, the upwardly mobile black person always looks down at the black people like, "Why? I got in with them. Why can't you get in with them?" I had a friend, a black friend that I grew up with, who, well, I went to college with, who grew up with wealthy. Like he was raised in a mansion. His family came from money. They were one of the black people that came from money. A few black people in Atlanta came from money. And I remember one time my car broke down when we was in college, right? And I was like, damn, what I'm gonna do? I need to get a car. I need to figure out how to get me a car. So I remember I was saying this around here because my car was gone. My car, the transmission went out. It was done. I had to get a new car, or a used car at least. I'm like, damn, how am I gonna get a car? So he heard me complain about not having a car, and he said, dude, all you gotta do is have your mom and your mom, you know, this was when I was in college, have your mom and dad just buy you a new one. Why are you making this a big deal? I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. Just have my mom and dad just buy me a new car. Oh, shit. Thank you. He didn't realize that everybody ain't got money like you got money. Where we could just, for car break down, just go to the dealership and buy a brand new one off the lot. You know what I'm saying? Pay cash. Everybody, my mom and them ain't got money. He couldn't fathom, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking with Anton. Anton Daniels, and he even talked about on somehow he was moving in the corporate world. You were liked, brother. You were liked. The rest of us, sometimes we're not. I got a homeboy, my homeboy Trey. Shout out my homeboy Trey, and he's about 6 foot. He's a little bit tall. He's about 6'2". He's a tall guy, and he came out. He's from LA, but he was trying to get into the behind the scenes production world of Hollywood, like I was trying to get in the production world. And he said, man, every time I go into these interviews, these white folks act like they're scared of me. He's like, I'm just trying to get a job. He's like, and they would not hire me. You know, he said, I find myself trying to go in there and be all meek as possible, be small as possible, so they won't be intimidated. So maybe I can get the job. He's like, they still won't hire me. I said, that's because you're not liked. And he was very smart, very hardworking, very skillful. But if you're not liked, all that shit don't matter. If you're not liked, you know what I'm saying? I remember when I worked for TMZ, and there's a lady there, Diana. I'm gonna go ahead and say her damn name. Fuck it, I don't work there no more. Diana Desiroff. She don't work there no more either. That woman did not. She was an Indian woman. I think she was from UK. She had a UK accent, but she was Indian. She hired me, but I think she was hiring me just as a temporary placement. But that woman did not like me. She did not. I would try my best to be nice to her, sweet to her, kissing her ass. That woman did not like me. I'm like, why? I would come to work on, if I messed up one time on something, it was like the whole world would end. If I messed up, I was, at the time TMZ was paying good, so I was like walking on eggshells around this woman. Fast forward, they hired another guy. Shot my homeboy Brandon. Brandon, who's a white guy, he reminds me of a young Steve Martin. Brandon, I hate to say it, Brandon was an alcoholic. He would come to work drunk sometimes. Diana loved Brandon. Brandon could do no wrong. He would sometimes get drunk and pass out, don't show up. You know what I'm saying? And she'd just be, oh, Brandon's so crazy. He's always drinking. I'm like, so he's not chastised, the alcoholic employee. But the man that's on time coming to do his job, you don't like him, and he makes one little mistake, you ready to fire him. That's when I realized, if you're not liked, and I was like, damn, why am I around here busting my ass trying to impress this woman, and this man coming in here drunk, she even gave him a raise. See what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. If you're not liked, it's going to be very hard for you to get those big money jobs. That's why a lot of times, like Tyler Perry had to go out there and make his own studio because he wasn't liked by them white folks. He was like, man, if I would have been waiting on them to give me a shot, I would have still been waiting. I had to go out and do it on my own. You know what I'm saying? So I hate when bougie brothers, and I hate to say this about Anton, but I hate when bougie brothers who get into the corporate world look down on the rest of us because we can't get in because we're not liked. And it's all say, y'all, what's wrong with y'all? I got $1 million watch and I got a big old house. Why can't y'all get one like I got one? Get you a job at a corporation with a white company and make $100,000 starting. Oh, Anton, I never thought about that. Huh? You know what I'm saying? If you're not liked, let me tell you something, I'm not really liked by a lot of people. I would go on interviews and damn near would kiss people's ass, be trying to talk because I really want to get a job paying good money. And I just could not get those jobs. I knew the position front to back. These motherfuckers would not hire me. I'm like, what is wrong with me? These people just did not want to hire me. I would change up my suits, how I would dress, I would practice before I would go into an interview, still wouldn't get the job because I was not liked. I don't fit in to the white corporate structure. If you don't fit in with the white corporate structure and you're on the outside looking in and you black, it's going to be very hard for you to eat. You know, you got to figure out how to make it on your own, get it on your own. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't like when brothers get into the corporate world. Kevin Samuels, he was part of the corporate world. He was one of the lucky Negroes like Anton that was able to get into the corporate world and make that big money. And he was sometimes on his videos, why y'all can't get the job? Y'all keep out here complaining. Y'all just lazy. Why y'all can't just walk into the IBM and just get a $200,000 job like I did? Because motherfucker, you were the chosen Negro. They liked you. They didn't see no fighting you. That's why they hired you. They probably see fighting me. That's why they ain't gonna hire me. Because they're gonna say something crazy to me. I'm gonna tell them to kiss my ass. They're gonna say something crazy to you, and you're gonna say, okay. Because you want that check. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't like when brothers and sisters get into a higher position and then begin to look down on the black people below them and act like something wrong with us. Why y'all just complaining? Y'all just George Floyd. Maybe the main ones, George Floyd, if he wouldn't have resisted, he'd still be alive. Look at all the all the trouble George Floyd caused. That's what some brothers would say, because they're in there. You know what I'm saying? I remember I had a brother, and I ain't gonna say his name because he's still working, but I had a brother I used to work with at TMZ. He would tip me off sometime. I would post he was a professional bodyguard. And when the whole thing went down with George Floyd, he was pissed off because everybody was rioting in LA, right? Doing the George Floyd stuff. And he had put on Facebook, "This stupid what y'all doing. It's crazy. Y'all gonna mess up everything." But the reason why he's saying that is because he don't want y'all messing up to the point, because they was gonna shut LA down. Well, LA was kind of already shut down because of the pandemic, but they really was gonna shut stuff down when those riots went down, and that was gonna mess up his money. He was making real good money as a bodyguard. So of course he gonna say y'all stop rioting, because you messed up his money. And I think it goes back to the house Negro syndrome and the field Negroes. The house Negro don't want you to cause no ruckus or complain or talk about racism, because he eating good. He can fly private. He can have a new car shit sent to his house and don't even drive it. He can retire at 37. Y'all messing up what I got going on. Well, motherfucker, you ain't out here with us struggling. You was the chosen like one. You was able to get on. You was able to get that big old house and have property because they liked you and retire at 37. I was that kind of job I would have had. I was in my 20s when I got that job. Well, not got that job. That job I had went for at the advertising agency that paid $85,000. Had I been liked, because I think I was maybe 20. I had just came out here in LA. I was about 26, 27 when I had that interview. When I came out here and I had that interview. Had I got that job, that was almost 20 years ago. Had I got that, it was starting off at $85,000. That's how much the job paid, corporate job. But it was at an advertising studio. Had I got that job, I probably would have been making. I'm in my 40s now. I probably been making almost $200,000 by now. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't liked. Knew that job front and back. That's why the lady put me on, because that's what the human resource. She was the lady that made sure you knew what you was doing. She liked me. She's like, "You perfect for this job." I'm like, "Oh, shit, I'm in there." But them other two white people that didn't like me, I didn't get the job. Well, it was one white person. I had a third interview, and he didn't like me, so I didn't get the job. So that's what I'm saying. They need to teach classes on about being liked. You know what I'm saying? When you black, if you're not the chosen Negro, and a lot of times, I hate to say it, but when you go to these corporate jobs, you look around at the few black people that they like, they work at these high-paying jobs. And the reason why I say corporate jobs, because those are usually the jobs where you can save, and you can save up $10,000 within like a month or so. Good paying jobs. Not the blue collar job like most of us work where we gotta save a whole year to get $10,000. But you can start buying property. Them the type of jobs that you can start moving forward. Vacations, the kind of job that Anton Daniels had. You see what I'm saying? If you're not liked or they don't feel, and a lot of times I see these black people at these corporations, a lot of them, I ain't gonna say it, I hate to say it, you can tell, I see why they hired that black guy. I see why they hired that black sister. I see why they had that brother over there. First of all, he's gay. That one right there he acts like Carlton from the Fresh Prince. And his black sister over here that they hired, she thinks she's a white girl. That's why, I see why they hired them. They wasn't a threat. They don't have any fight in them. That's who get those jobs. But once you get those jobs, don't look down on us because you got chosen. Y'all can't get y'all shit together. Y'all just complaining. I got me a mansion and a house and all this stuff. Why y'all can't get it? Sound like my homeboy James that grew up rich. He wondered why I couldn't just buy a car. Motherfucker, my parents ain't rich. My parents are blue collar working people. My mom and dad. Even though my dad owned 2 mechanic shops, he was hands on both of those shops. You see what I'm saying? Because he didn't have extra money to buy me a car. He helped me put down to get me a car eventually, but he didn't have money to go out and buy a car flat out. You know what I'm saying? So I just hate when brothers and sisters do that. They get those jobs around white folks and then they start making the big money. Then we ain't shit. Anyway, this is Anton Daniels. Y'all can check out his YouTube page. I'm going to continue to play the rest of it. I'm going to go ahead and end it.
I'm checking for you. I promise you. When they go down a list of all of the people that they fearful of, you not on it.
Oh, no. Yes, we are.
Hey, man, y'all know Quintavious over there? We ain't worried about Quintavious. We're going to have that guy making license plates in prison because he's going to rob one of his own. Sell crack to one of his homeboys, to his auntie. Hurt the rest of the...
He don't even smoke crack no more. See, he's throwing out the stereotypes they throw out. People don't even smoke crack no more, sell crack no more. It's all about pills and meth and stuff like and cocaine now. That sounds like the shit a white person would say. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, I don't even want to finish watching the rest of this. I like Anton Daniels. I'm actually subscribed to his channel, but when he started going off on stuff like this, Boyce Watkins sometimes does it too. Them brothers that graduated from college and got those corporate jobs and start talking shit about why y'all can't do it. Because they don't like, because they see fighting us. They don't like us. You was liked. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Knowing what you know, and I realized quick, knowing how to do a job and being liked, you'll be better off just being liked. If you ever seen that, have you ever seen that skit? It's a Key and Peele skit where Key and Peele go in for these jobs, and Jordan Peele is out front waiting to go in for the interview. It's a dude in there interviewing with Key, the boss. Key played the boss. And they in there laughing. Dude, you seen the game last night? Oh, he laughing his ass off. And then the dude walk out. He like, man, this is the best interview I ever had in the world. You know what I'm saying? So then when it came time for Jordan Peele to go in for his interview, he tried to be buddy with the dude. Dude was like, whatever. Like, come on in the office, dude. Why you acting all weird? He didn't like him. So Key was like, well, why even stay around? You don't like me. Obviously, you gonna give it to him because you like him. Y'all planning to go hang out and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, it's a skit you gotta see. But for the most part, if you're not liked, man, it's gonna be very hard for you in this world. That's why if you know that you're one of the people that people don't like me off rip. I'm a good person, but it's just people I just for some reason I rub people the wrong way. Maybe it's my tone of my voice, how I dress. It could be anything, and people just won't like you. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get out here in this world and figure out how to hunt your own food, baby. You won't be lucky enough to be like Anton Daniels and retire at 37 years old, unfortunately, because white folks liked you at their corporation. You know what I'm saying? You got to go ahead and get your meat on your own. Anyway, what y'all think about this video, man? Leave your comments, subscribe to Charles and Ezra. Hit that thumbs up button.